One of the most important moments in history was when our Lord Jesus Christ gave his life and his mission to his body to redeeming the whole world for his glory. It's been 2,000 years since then, and here we now have over 2 billion Christians waiting for his second coming, while another 3 billion haven't even heard of his first coming. And 80% of the 3 billion, due to religious, geographic, political, linguistic, and cultural barriers, don't have near access to hear the good news of Christ, even if they want to. This begs the question, why haven't we achieved this Great Commission yet? We see 3 reasons. Number 1, most disciples and churches are not multiplying enough. About 90% of churches are either subtracting, stagnant, or adding. The estimate shows that only 5% of the churches are reproducing and multiplying. The second reason is that most Christians are not worldly Christians, but they are worldly. This correlates almost directly to the fact that churches are measuring their capacity by their sitting, not by their sending. Only 2% of churches in the world today even engage their congregations into missions. And third, not enough workers are sent to the mission frontiers to reach the unreached. Churches on average allocate just 2% of their budget to the missions, while the rest goes to the internal affairs. And of the 2%, most of it goes to missions to already reached places rather than to the unreached frontiers. If this convicts you to do something, please visit our website to find out how we at the Horn of Africa Evangelical Mission Engagers are working to do our part in accomplishing the Great Commission in time and well. Or you can just check out the next video. Thank you. How can we change the tragedy that while there are 2 billion Christians in the world waiting to see the second coming of Christ, over 3 billion still don't know why he came the first time? Christ gave his mandate directly to his body on earth, the church. This is why we at home envision to see the church as a multiplying and ascending church, giving priority to the least rich people groups in the Horn of Africa region and beyond. So we equip and mobilize the churches in our region and beyond. Who are we? HOME is an indigenous mission organization established in Ethiopia since 2003, working in partnership with over 90 like-minded local, international churches and institutions for the purpose of completing the Great Commission in the Horn of Africa region and beyond. But here it is important to pause and remember that the Great Commission is not a command, but an invitation. We're not doing God's job for him, but rather joining him in his mission as he redeems all nations for his glory. So we don't operate from the place of guilt, but conviction and a loving, passionate response to his invitation. And this is where our 3 strategies are birthed from. 1, multiply. We equip every disciple to be disciples that make disciples rapidly and generationally. And we empower every church to become simple churches that reproduce and multiply other simple churches that reproduce and multiply other simple churches rapidly and generationally. Simple church has less to do with size as it has to do with mentality. Whether the church meets under a tree, in a house, or a big auditorium, for us, what makes a simple church is meeting to love God, love people, and make disciples. 2, mobilize. Ethiopia is 5th in the world and 2nd in Africa in terms of missionary sending potential. Being home to more than 20 million evangelicals, we can send more than 20,000 cross-cultural missionaries if we were to send just 1 out of every 1,000 believers. Sad that we have not even sent 100 to date, despite our 16 centuries of Christian heritage. This calls for our mobilization strategy to educate every Christian and every church so they grasp the missional heart of God and engage in their most strategic role in completing the Great Commission. The local church has to be like a terminal that facilitates people's journeys to their missional destinies. 3, sending. Do you know that the 3 billion unreached in the world, 80% of them don't have access to a single Christian, even if they want to follow Jesus? This means actually going there matters. While working towards 0 unreached in Ethiopia, Home is equipping cross-cultural workers to go to strategic least rich people groups in Africa and beyond. And so we can say that we have two main objectives: reaching the least rich people groups in the Horn of Africa region, catalyzing the sending of one cross-cultural missionary for every 1,000 evangelical believer from the Horn of Africa region to the least rich people groups in Africa and beyond. Please check out our website to learn how our strategies and objectives are doable and achievable. Or you can just click the next video. Thank you.